All right, folks. So we're going to give the Twin Cities audit perspective on some incidents that have been occurring here locally in the Twin Cities lately, and then also we'll chime in after with some of the national news that's been going on lately as well.
New this morning, a group of boys and girls shot while driving a stolen car in Minneapolis overnight. 5 kids, all within the ages of 11 to 14 years old, were driving a stolen Kia around 1 a.m. at West Broadway and Girard when police say a sedan started following them and firing at them with fully automatic gunfire. 2 boys and 2 girls were shot and taken to the hospital. One of the girls is in critical but stable condition after being shot in the head. The others all have non-life-threatening injuries. The 5th minor was taken into custody after the police discovered that the car was stolen. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says this incident is just one example of a much bigger issue.
All right, so here we have a couple of kids, minors, okay, meaning under 18. There's been a thing going on probably a couple of years now where Kia and Hyundai cars are being easily stolen. Evidently, you can just use a USB, insert it, turn it, pull the some part of the console off and just use a USB to start the car. And this has caused an uptick in auto theft. So here locally in the Twin Cities, they have pretty much taken a hands-off policy to these auto thefts. If you call about one, they'll tell you to just fill out some kind of a form online, work with the insurance company directly, and they'll get you sorted. We may or may not find it. If we do, we'll let you know. And then even when they are locating the car, running the plates, they're coming up as stolen. If the drivers, again, most of whom are minors, if they start to evade police, if they start to drive a bit erratic, they've been instructed to back off and let them go. Whereas I was born in 85, so coming up as a teenager here in the Twin Cities, they were handing out 5 years for people stealing cars. For those who were 18 or over, you were getting 5 years for auto theft. Under 18, you were going to get some time. It wasn't going to be 5 years, but you were going to get some time. Maybe 3 months for first offense, 6 months, 6 to 9 months, 9 to 12 months. They were going to hand out some time for stolen cars, to the point now where I actually had a Hyundai stolen. I called police and they were laughing it up. Yuck, 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 yuck. They were, what kind of car did you have? I was like, oh, it's a Hyundai, blah, blah, this and that. They were like, oh, okay, yeah. At the time, I didn't know that there was this thing with, Kia boys and stealing Kias and Hyundais being like just hanging out at a park now these days. So he's laughing as this vehicle of mine that is used to transport myself, my family, my wife to work, to grocery store, wherever it is we go, is now gone. A vehicle that we were paying on monthly is now gone, and he's laughing it up. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Oh, the Kia boys must have got you. Yuck, 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 yuck. I couldn't believe it. It blew my mind, actually. It really did. Just the lack of care and concern. We even had footage from a neighbor's camera clearly showing who the people were. They pulled up in another car, what the process was, and they still were just like, well, you can send it in, but probably won't be much help, right? Like there was just literally like pretty much no care, right? You could fill out everything online. There's no need for an officer to come out. And then I asked, well, could you increase police presence, in the area? I haven't really seen any cars even just driving around or anything. And sergeant on the phone, or whoever the officer that I was talking to, was like, well, probably not. We're a bit we're a bit understaffed, and people might feel offended by the presence of police, an uptick of police presence in their community. So while this is all out of the aftermath of, the George Floyd situation and others, police brutality, let's say, um, it seems that we've gone from one extreme, right, to the other as far as this whole spectrum of law enforcement. And I'm not an advocate of that. I do tend to believe that the solution lies somewhere in the middle between the two extremes. There's got to be a way to navigate this, and there's got to be a way to better solve the problem. Now, as to these issues now here locally with these kids being shot, one girl was shot in the head. I think she was only like 11 or 12. Thankfully, she lived, but she took a headshot. So you got these minors anywhere between 10 and 14 or 15 in a stolen car that they stole, a Kia, who the police have been instructed not to chase if they start to drive erratic, driving, shooting at each other, another set of teens in another stolen car, shooting weapons with switches, right? 30, 40, 50, 60 shots fired off between these two. And then the police, after everything is done, after everything is settled down, coming in to just kindly and hospitably play cleanup. That is not the solution to the problem, right? And then it's never really been the function of police to be like community leader, activist, parent, pastor, teacher, kind of all in one, because some of this is a function of, in all reality, the broken homes. That's just the reality, right? The lack of anything of any real value, any real meaning going on in the average home, where these things are happening, and in all likelihood, anything of any real meaning or value going on, not going on in, let's say, one too many homes here in the U.S., most certainly here in the Twin Cities. Uh, it's a problem. It's a problem that's known. It's a problem that keeps being talked about again and again and again. There's it's a blame deflection. There's pointing back and forth between the police, the district attorney. District attorney is pointing to the injustices that law enforcement has put forward, making it difficult for the district attorney to do his or her job. The governor, the mayor, right, the community, everybody's like, we need help. We need help. Well, the fact is, folks, we are going to have to help ourselves, right? I can't speak to whatever's going on in people's homes individually or hearts and minds. The fact is, though, it's clear that there's a problem, and it's clear that we're going to need some sort of a solution. So we are going to have to be our own supporters, right? We're all talking about the problem. We're going to have to start to put forward some solutions. I would say it will be safe. It will be safe to start with the homes and families who are in these communities. And I know a lot of them. A lot of people tend to think, oh, well, those families are might be thinking or saying, well, we need more help from the police, the government. I've heard Minneapolis Police Chief O'Hare say that he had parents telling him, begging him to lock up their kids because they can't control them. Imagine that. Mothers, fathers saying, listen, just take them to jail. There's nothing I can do with them. They don't want to listen to me. I'm telling you now, like it's better if you just take them. And then PD saying, well, we can't take them. Right. So it's a very strange in-game scenario that we're in here. And make no mistake about it, we are in the end game here, folks. Now, we are clearly transitioning into different times. These problems are not going to go on forever. However, we cannot wait for the same people who have put us in a situation where we have these problems to come out and offer us solutions, right? We have to solve our own problems. We have to be advocates of ourselves and each other. Each other, meaning wherever you are, whoever you may be with around, like minded individuals who you can get together and you can do something to start to help and solve these problems, right? And we can all do something wherever we are, however we may be. Or whatever condition we may be in. Now, what it is that you need to do, you're best knowing of what you can offer. My only advice would be offer something. Now, none of us owe anyone anything in the sense that, oh, in some attempt of self righteousness, I have to go out and serve the community begrudgingly or something like that. I'm not saying that. I am saying, though, that at this point, um, the situation has gone pretty far left. And even worse, right? Like I said, it's September 7th now, 2024. So all we had a mass shooting in Georgia. And Georgia has taken a lot of hits. That mess of a county jail they got down there in Fulton County, that mess of a trial they got down there with DA Fannie Willis trying to prosecute YSL, Young Thug, and this and that. That is a colossal fail. They are embarrassing themselves. Every day that continues to play out and go on, it is nothing more than an embarrassment. So Georgia's taking a lot of hits, and I'm not sure what they're doing. But that school shooting down there, and I think it was Apple something, uh, horrible, right? They had arrested the kid and the father. Father wasn't an active shooter, but apparently helped buy the gun, and said that he sought his son to be responsible with weapons and this and that. So they're holding him accountable, right? Just like up in Michigan, there was a mass shooting up there. One of the parents was arrested for the actions of the child, both parents actually, and they were told, you should have known. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that precedent. I do believe, though, that parents do need to have some degree of culpability in how a child is being raised and maintained and taught. Um, but that precedent, I'm not sure where we're going to go with that, right? To the point where an 11, 12, 13-year-old can do some heinous act. And somehow we assume that a parent should have known, and let's blame them and throw them in the equation as well. I'm not sure that's the solution to the problem. I will say, though, that I'm sure that does help to get the parents more involved, at least with what's going on, and taking a closer look at the situation with their own children. As to the situation with, so there was the Apple thing in Georgia, and then we had another one the day after Georgia in Baltimore. Apparently that was it was a little different in that those guys apparently knew each other. One shot the other in the bathroom over who knows what, right? And then here today, there's supposedly an active shooter situation going on in Kentucky, right? Where we don't even really know the details. And the governor came out with a tweet saying that, we shut down the highway and we'll keep you posted. That's basically what he's saying. We shut down the I-75 or whatever it is on both sides. And Kentuckians, stay safe. We'll keep you posted, right? Try to avoid that area. Stay safe. We'll keep you posted. Yeah, I don't know, folks. It looks to me, okay, like a certain group of people are trying to move public opinion for or against a particular agenda. Now, for those who are anti-gun and want more regulation and want more of this or that, it would seem to me that this uptick in violence and children being killed and shot is there to kind of play on the heartstrings of such people and achieve what one segment of the population wants, which is for us to be disarmed. Now, at the end of the day, if you, like me, ultimately depend on and have your own self-reliance as your crux, your everything, right? Your only hope out here, as far as what this society can offer. The best thing going is the freedoms that have been given to the individual. So if you somehow think that losing more freedom will give you more freedom, I'm here to tell you that that is a fallacy, right? Giving up more freedom will not lead to your gaining of more freedom and security. And be careful with the way these stories are spun and the way things are sent our way to try to play on our emotions and play on our minds to get us to fall into a certain agenda that whoever has, right? And for whatever reason. But what we do know is that those reasons are not going to be to your and my advantage. Those reasons are not there to help us be the best versions of ourselves, to help our families become more prosperous, right? If anything, the average man and woman now in the US is seen as a burden, something that's becoming more and more obsolete, right? We really don't need you. We're forking over every dime we have to pay for all the world's problems, right? Rather it's we're financing this war, we're financing that war, we're paying for this bailout, we're paying for that bailout, we're sending things here, we're sending things there, we're financing people hopping over the border. But if you or I should happen to need the ones we're paying for all that, we won't find open arms helping us to solve our problems. I say that's wrong. I say that's criminal. I say that's a problem. And here at Twin Cities Audit, yes, we primarily are concerned with auditing the judicial system, our government, law enforcement, politicians, public servants, let's say, and to remind them that they are indeed servants of the public, which is you and I, and to show very clearly what's right, what's wrong, what is gains approval, as far as the ethics, demeanor of one who's really concerned about this land of ours and our rights. Um, that's what we're primarily here to show. At the same time, though, we are members of a community wherever we may be, rather it's a local one or a national one. And it's important that we show and demonstrate that our care and concern for our community, for our land, for ourselves, for each other. And again, I'm not saying that we got to have this false sense of brotherly love and unity around the world and this and that. I'm aware that there are going to be evildoers. There are going to be people who we don't get along with. I'm sure we're all aware of that. However, the extent to which things have been going, I say that this is unnatural. I say that we can do more than we think we can. I say that we can go further than we think we can. And I say that we can do it, and we can do it from right now, and we can do it from where we are, and we can do it with what we have. All right. So with that, folks, let's just think about, what are some solutions? I'd be happy to hear folks chime in, leave some ideas. We could discuss it, um, put some solutions out there. I don't have all the answers. But we do need to brainstorm, right? This is our land. We are the sons and daughters of America. We are the sons and daughters of any particular state or community. And we became who we are because there were people who cared, who invested in us. So we cannot allow we owe it to them, we owe it to ourselves to carry that bar forward and to be a voice of reason and to be a voice for change and to do everything we can to save ourselves. Because at the end of the day, I'm not asking you to save me. All right. And I know you are not asking me to save you. What I'm asking you to do, what I'm asking me to do is to save ourselves. Because if we don't, one thing that I'm sure that we can agree on is no one else will.